What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gershwan.
And once again, we're back answering your questions in another Q&A episode entitled "For the Greater."
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what Rapid Fanatic did. He asks, what if there was a civil war in the Imperium, like the Adeptus Mechanicus versus the Imperium of Man? Who would win? My money is on the Imperium of Man.
Really?
Yep.
Well, first of all, my money's on the Mars, the AdMech, because look at how reliant humanity is on technology. If the Martians had some way of, I don't know, taking that away from them, then yeah, definitely, I'm going to give it to the AdMech.
So the reason I say the Imperium is because during the Horus Heresy, it already kind of happened. The Forge Worlds, the Fabricator General of Mars actually went on the side of Horus. Mm-hmm. So on top of the fact that it was the full Adeptus Mechanicus minus all the Forge Worlds that remained loyal, because there were a couple Forge Worlds throughout the galaxy that remained loyal back then and would remain loyal during this Civil War.
Right.
They had the Forces of Chaos, they had the Space Marines, Titans and all that good stuff, and yet they still lost. Mm-hmm. And I think it'll just play the same way. This time, instead of the Emperor coming out on top, it's Guilliman coming out on top.
Yeah, and it's like the Imperium has bodies to just throw at the Adeptus Mechanicus over and over again, which, over time, attrition is a thing. But if you have, like, legions of Skitarii, they don't really need, like, nutrients or food or anything like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, they're still alive, so they might need a little bit or something like that. But for the most part, it's like machines versus man, almost like another AI insurrection. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it would last long, though.
No, definitely not.
I think they would sue for peace right away. Mm-hmm. For probably both forces. Another treaty would be signed.
Yeah, and it's crazy just to see like how close the two of them are. Like if they do have the Void Dragon under the Martian sands and they let that go, like that can destroy Terra or at least do a huge chunk of damage to it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, you've got the freaking Emperor there, you got the Custodes there, the Moon,
the Imperial Fist chapter.
Yep.
Everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It'll be a tough fight. It'll be definitely something interesting to see, but I mean, the Imperium's always going to come out on top, right?
Probably, yeah. Unless they have those space horse dogs.
They're not out yet, so no.
You can pre-order them, though, right?
Yeah.
Next question comes from Skywalker Rock. In the extremely long term, who would dominate the galaxy? Chaos, Tyranids, or Necrons? My money is on Chaos.
Yeah, I'll say Necrons. Because the Silent King's coming back. He's going to be able to unify them. He's going to awaken all the Tomb Worlds. They've got new models.
Yeah.
Or new units, at least, backing them up. So I could definitely see them overtaking things. But because like the more they kill, they're also going to be weakening Chaos. Because the more humanity they kill, the less Chaos beliefs are going to be out there fueling the Chaos gods. So
maybe, but I feel like war is war, and Khorne's going to feed off of that regardless.
True.
So, like, there's really no way to, like, not feed Chaos. The only one that's kind of... The only one you could truly shun is, like, Nurgle and Slaanesh, maybe. But then, like, Tzeentch and Khorne, no matter what you do, you're always going to, like, want to better yourself. You're always going to want to change something, too.
Plan ahead.
Yeah.
But then that also kind of fuels, like, oh, I need to stay alive so I could keep on reaching, the pinnacle of our existence. So that's also fueling Slaanesh and Perfection, fueling Nurgle and trying to, entropy, stay alive.
And that's another example of how, like, one little thing empowers all of them.
Yep.
So it's very hard to actually get rid of them. Even if you were to destroy all humanity and, like, just the Necrons and the Tyranids were left, I still think Chaos could still, survive. Mm-hmm. And they have their own dimension.
Chaos finds a way.
Oh, always.
But yeah, Tyranids, they seem to be like an apex predator now, and like they're such a threat now, and we haven't even seen like the real body of the Tyranids.
It's true.
So maybe they could win with like numbers.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Next question.
Sam Roberto, which Pokemon would you have as your companion in the 40K universe?
Sandslash.
Really?
Yeah.
You can go with any Pokemon, you go with Sandslash.
Yep.
I respect that. Because of that, I gotta go with Weedle.
Yep. Because of his
String Shot.
Nice.
It's like, oh, I can do that too.
Or maybe I should have what's Geodude? Does he do self-destruct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'll do the Geodude.
It's like, I don't want to live here.
Nah, boom.
Self-destruct.
I wonder if that's how that works. Like, does the Pokemon trainer die?
I don't think so. Like, because we've seen a bunch of Pokemon, like Ash get, electrocuted how many times and he's fine.
Yeah.
He just gets all charred up.
But then again, he's never aged.
That's true.
So maybe he's not fine.
Maybe he's just a figment of imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think having like Mewtwo would be really badass. Because essentially it's like a psyker that can speak to you telepathically.
A Xenopsyker. Ooh, you're going to get shot up by the Inquisition.
That's why I got to go with the Tau ASAP.
Yeah.
Just paint a little like line down Mewtwo's forehead. He's one of you.
One of you. One. Why is he floating? Don't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Next question. I have one from Robbie. Can we kitbash Age of Sigmar Stormcast Eternals with Space Marines? No, never. Don't do that. I'm just kidding.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. So I've been binge watching Pete the Wargamer. Really good YouTube channel. You guys check it out if you guys like kitbashing conversions and stuff like that. He's doing a series where he does like all the Chaos Space Marines. And he also did a really cool kitbashed Black Templar. And he uses a Stormcast Eternal
Is that
like
the
main
one?
body.
Is that the one where he like cuts off like the lantern thingy?
No, that's a homebrew chapter that he like did with his community. Yeah, but yeah, definitely check it out and definitely do that. Convert, it's fun.
It is.
It's expensive,
definitely.
but
Yeah,
fun.
it is. But just to see that model all done and painted and be like, oh yes, I did it just the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up doing some conversion videos too, because I am working on some back there. So yeah, hopefully soon. Next question. This one comes from Sam Roberts. Do you guys play Destiny? How do you think Guardians would hold up in the 40K universe? You play Destiny, right?
Actually, I never did. It was always something that like, oh, I should pick it up. I should play it sometime, and I never did.
Yeah, I don't even play video games really. Snake Eater, that was the last.
Oh,
video game.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Metal Slug.
That was another really fun game.
Yeah, but no, sorry, no Destiny. I mean, the Guardians just kind of look like Master Chief, so I assume they probably
Tempestus.
Tempestus Scions.
That would be equivalent.
But then some of them have like abilities like psychic powers. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I thought because like you could like explode or fly or shoot fire. I don't know. There's something like that.
They should have Primaris Psychers, like not Space Marine Primaris, but just like the top of the line Psychers in the Imperium, like also be military, like gun wielding people. It'd be cool. Next question.
This one's by Logan Guerra. I feel like the word resurrection is thrown around a lot in 40K theories. So has anybody actually been resurrected in the Imperium?
Gilliman.
Well, I mean, he was in a near-death state. He wasn't dead. Because he was dying. He was about to die because he had his throat slit with a poison blade by Fulgrim, and then he was put in stasis.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah.
So my man Vulcan, the Eternal.
Yep. Saint Celestine. Yeah. Eternal, perpetual. Yeah. Saint Celestine, she dies, but then the Emperor brings her back.
Yep. A lot of living saints, actually. Yeah, so it happens. It's around.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Corona.
It's around.
It's around.
It happens.
We talk about it so much, sometimes it gets downplayed, but it's there. People are dying. Teardrop.
Sven Dalsgaard. What would happen if the Emperor killed Lucius the Eternal? So the thing about Lucius is he's an Emperor's Children traitor who is allied with Slaanesh, and Slaanesh liked him so much that she's like, or Slaanesh was like, you will never die. So anytime anybody kills Lucius the Eternal and they feel a sense of accomplishment, gratitude, pride from killing him, they become Lucius the Eternal. Their faces starts to convulse, their body mutates into him, and then their original faces become a face on his armor.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. That's really metal as fuck.
Yeah.
But if the Emperor did that, I don't know. Because I feel like he could be stoic enough to just be like, I don't even consider you a threat or anything. But
so he wouldn't kill him?
I mean, he'd kill him, but it'd be like if you stepped on an ant. Like, do you really feel anything about it?
Sometimes. Especially if it's an anthill and you get the water hose.
Dang.
No, I get what you're saying, though. Like, he'll just, like, back slap or backhand slap the...
But I also think that's not going to be such an easy fight either.
Maybe he would just, like, entrap him. Because, like, if it's the Emperor, he has plot armor. And maybe it's, like, that whole idea of, like, well, he's going to know that if you do that to that guy, then that's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you got to chop off his arms and legs and put him in a box and throw him in, like...
A river.
Are
there rivers in 40K?
I don't know. You don't really hear too much aquatic things in 40K.
No. Except for the Carcharodons, even though they're not really in the water.
They bring rivers with them.
Yeah. They are the river.
This one's by Skywalker Rock. How come large civilian spacecrafts and the manufacturing of thereof are so rare in 40K, when there are an entire planet supplied solely by transport ships? Shouldn't there be thousands of kilometer-long spacecrafts built every month for a galaxy of this scale? Even here on Earth, supertankers and alike are larger than military warships.
So there's a lot of what are they called? The rings around like planets. They have a specific name. I forget what they're called. But yeah, so they get manufactured by different forge worlds. There are like huge caravans of transport ships. We don't hear about it, and they're not in the books because obviously, like that's not what we want to hear. If you ever come across the Dark Heresy rule books, pick one up. It has a bunch of really good information just like that, where it talks about transportation, it talks about communication, and it talks about things that you don't really think about when you're playing the tabletop or when you're reading a badass story of like Dorn versus what's his name, Mr. Ballman, twin.
Oh, Alpharius? Yeah. Or Omegon? One of the two.
You don't hear about any of that any of that like nitpicky stuff, but it's there.
It's like, where do the Space Marines refuel? Yeah. Who mops the deck?
Yeah, refueling stations are a thing, and like you get like little hints of it when you read the you know how like every single codex has a timeline. I read a lot about it in the Tau Codex for some reason.
Because they really care about refueling.
They do.
Because they have to. I mean, there's warp travel.
Yeah.
The Tau, they literally have to like travel.
So yeah, it's there. Just gotta look.
Yeah. And it's like, this is a war game. Like, they don't want to bog us down with like information that nobody's really gonna look at.
Yeah, and I don't even know if at first I thought it would be really cool if they introduced that into like a campaign format. So like you actually are responsible for supplying your armies with like resources. But that's kind of too complex for
even
40K.
Then it's kind of toned down with like stratagems or stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's that game called?
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Urban Conquest.
There you go. That has a little bit of like strategic resources and like communications and stuff like that.
Yeah, that one is a little bit like that. Yep. So the lore is there. You just have to keep your eyes open and your ears open and your eyes hearing. Next question.
Eyes wide shut.
Yeah.
D Stronk 333. Do the Necrons feed the C'tan shards? And if so, would they feed them souls or just plain energy?
That's a good question, because they are supposed to be parasites that consume the sun.
Right, they eat stars. No, I don't think they feed them. If anything, they're just like puppets of war, because they should freaking hate C'tan, because they're the reason why they're like this. They're the reason why they have no souls. They're stuck in metal bodies.
But why haven't they died?
Because they're literal gods. Like they're.
Are they? I thought they were just like, they said that because.
Well, I mean, they're yeah, but they're beings of such caliber that
they don't die just like that.
Yeah, you have to like poke them in the belly button.
I don't do that. That's where the pee is stored. Oh no, that's the balls.
Well, for C'tan, that's where the pee is stored.
In the belly button.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. This one comes from Commissar HF. Which one is better, a Necron Space Marine or a Tech Marine?
Necron Space Marines. You're talking about like the Deathwatch that, or Space Marines that use Necron technology, but say it's not Necron technology, so it's not heresy.
Yeah, we could go with that one. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, Tech Marines, they're really smart. They know how to like fix things, and they have like Doc Octopus arms.
Yeah, they're like Bob the Builder, but better.
Yeah, they can fix it. They don't have to ask. They just do.
Yeah.
So think of them as Bob the Builder, and think of the Deathwatch that use weapons as Fix-It Felix from Wreck-It Ralph.
Haven't seen that movie.
Dang, you haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph?
Mm-mm.
When you see Ralph, you're going to want to wreck him. But yeah, so Fix-It Felix was like a secondary character. So that's kind of how it is. Deathwatch are secondary to the number ones. The
Tech Priests.
The Tech Priests.
Even though I feel that, like, because the Deathwatch is, like, so, like, into discovering, like, alien technologies and experimenting with alien technology, they would be more knowledgeable about how an actual thing works instead of just a Tech Priest praying to it.
Yeah, that's true.
But, well, I mean, I think you're right. There is, like, background knowledge that a Tech Priest has that a Deathwatch guy probably does not.
Right, and he's just asking which one's better. He didn't say in what regard.
That's true. So personal choice, man. Next question. This one comes from Mr. Irish. Can a Hellbrute be infected by the Obliterator virus?
So the Obliterator virus is what essentially creates Obliterators, which are a mixture, a fusion of man or Space Marine and machine, and they could like meld their arms into like weapons and stuff like that. Hellbrutes, they're a little bit different because they're Chaos Space Marines that have been forced into a sarcophagus, unlike the actual dreadnoughts of Space Marines that are using as a life support. No, they're forced in there, and they're kind of enchained, and they're pissed all the time because they want to get let loose, and eventually they become crazy enough that they're just kind of like the Black Rage dreadnoughts. They're all chained up, and they get let loose on the battlefield to just wreak havoc.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I wouldn't see why they'd have to be injected with the Obliterator virus, because their Hellbrute, like the actual dreadnought, so to speak, already has weapons. They don't fuse the weapons out or anything like that.
That's cool.
So, the more you know. That sounded like Blue's Clues.
Yeah, there's a new Steve.
Oh, I've seen him.
Next question comes from Odin, God of Wisden. Does Alpha Legion seem kind of Tzeentch? Like if there was a god they would venerate? Yeah, basically yes. Yes. Tzeentch is all about change, and the Alpha Legion is the reason that change exists.
Yeah, the Alpha Legion round up, so that's why they're able to get change.
Exactly. Are you talking about because of change?
Mm-hmm. So let's say the Alpha Legion go up to a store, and they're like, it'll be $13.25, and they just give you a 14. Boom, they got change.
Change all day. Double crossing.
That's why they're the 20th Legion. 2 X's, double cross.
And they kind of have like blue, and Tzeentch is kind of like blue, but not really blue because he's also green. just like the Alpha Legion.
They wear camellia line cloaks, which allow them to blend with the hood. They camouflage.
Then last question, what do you have?
Genesis Stewart. Do you think that GW will ever get into doing R-rated movies with somebody like Lionsgate Films to boost awareness, similar to what the MCU did with their first phase? They could introduce the Big E and do a movie for each Primarch and have it be like a slow burn leading up to the heresy, almost like an Endgame type movie.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes, especially as 40K gets more and more popular, which I think it is. It's eventually going to get an R-rated movie. Hopefully R-rated movie. Hopefully it's not some Disney.
We get Warhammer Adventures coming out.
I wouldn't mind a cartoon, though, of Warhammer Adventure, because I know that's just like a stepping stone. Mm-hmm. It's like, once we get that, then we can get the cool-ass, like, Rogue One style.
Cool ass. Whatever happened to that, what was it, Eisenhorn live action that's supposed to come out?
It still is. I think everything stopped right now.
Yeah. And the same thing with the Blood Angels.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got the animated one with, like, the assassins and the sisters and the Inquisition.
That one seems like it's going to be really good, too, yeah. I'm still waiting for the X-rated 40K stuff.
Yeah, shoot. Oh.
Bridget B, hit us up.
Yeah. Terminators and Tyranid Gaunts and...
all over.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start a GoFundMe or some type of what is the other one? The crowd platform thing. It's not GoFundMe. Kickstarter. Let's do a Kickstarter and we can get ourselves a nice X-rated 40K like top of the line video. Let's do it.
Johnny Sins, if you're out there.
He's out there.
He'll play a mean Lorgar or Horus.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, if you guys are inspired now, go to Pornhub and see if it already exists.
Yeah, let your inspiration last for about 2 minutes and then never think about it again.
Yeah. This was Gershwan.
The Sound Alchemist, and we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any